Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. Great to see all of you here this morning. My name is Gabrielle Garcina-Bobro, and I am a member of the parish board here at First Church. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our friends tuning in to the live stream, and welcome to all of you who are here with us in person. It's very good to be together. We're so glad you came. Of course, we have a few announcements before our wonderful service. First off, today, after the 11 o'clock service, a group will be going for a solstice walk around Clay Pit Pond, right in front of the high school. You can meet in this parlor here at 12:15, or ask Anna Churchill for more information. I believe her email and maybe her phone number are in your little blue insert in your order of service. Christmas Eve is coming. We still need a few ushers for the 2 p.m. and the 11 p.m. services. Please contact Reverend Chris if you'd like to help out. We look forward to seeing you there. Next Sunday is our wonderful and very popular ritual of the taking up and the letting go with the flash paper. It will be just one service at 10:30, just one at 10:30. We look forward to seeing you there as we launch into this coming new year. Also, wonderful news, we now have snacks at coffee hour. Please sign up and volunteer to bring for the 9 o'clock or the 11 o'clock. There are sign-up sheets out near the snacks and also online, Sign Up Genius. Please do bring some delicious treats if you are able. A huge thank you to the Houseman family for getting this going. Woo-hoo. And now if all of us will sign up, it'll be easier to make happen every week. Coming in a few weeks is a Fiber Arts Fellowship on Wednesday, January 7th. You can come to the library with knitting, crocheting, quilting, or beading, or any other fiber art of your choosing, and join together in making. You can ask Eva Patalis or Laura Caputo if you have any questions, and beginners are very, very welcome. The next day, January 8th, our Disvalva pilgrims will be doing our Next Alliance presentation of their recent trip to Transylvania. This will be at 11 o'clock and on Zoom. There are so many more offerings through our community. As I mentioned, the blue insert in your order of service tells you a great deal. You can also go online to the Unitarian for so many more ways to connect and to serve and to ground yourself with us together. For now, get comfortable, center yourself in your seat. We're going to take a nice deep breath. We're going to arrive at this beautiful place surrounded by this abundant love. Let us worship together.
Please join me in saying,
Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in a community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift.
good morning and happy solstice, everyone. Good morning. I'm so happy to see you all. All right. So today, December 21st, is the shortest day of the year. Thank God. After today, the light will start to return and the days will start to get longer again. All across the Northern Hemisphere, many cultures and religious traditions mark this moment and this season with different rituals that acknowledge that in the dark of the winter, there are many gifts of the darkness, and now after this day, the light will start to return.
During the dark of winter, we need celebration. We need reminders of joy in community to help each other make it through the darkness. Many of our neighbors celebrate traditions during this time of year. Our Indian friends celebrate Diwali, the festival of lights, in late October or early November. Our friends in China celebrate Lunar New Year in late January or early February. Our Christian neighbors mark Christmas next week on December 25th. And many African American folks in the United States celebrate Kwanzaa, which begins on December 26th.
And there are a few traditions happening today. So up here, we have an altar with some special objects from those traditions. If one of these holidays is important to you, we invite you to hold special attention for it in your heart as we mark these rituals.
Today is the winter solstice. For our pagan and Wicca friends, this is known as Yule, an important holiday marking the shortest day and the return of the light. Many pagan and Wicca communities celebrate Yule with the burning of a Yule log in a hearth, the lighting of candles and placing them into a Yule log, or with special greenery and decorations from the natural world. This holiday symbolizes being one with the seasons and understanding how your spirituality and your body interact with the changing of the seasons. Up here, we have a Yule altar object, a candle, greenery, and some special objects from our natural world. We will now light this candle.
Today is the fourth Sunday of Advent. Many Christians light one candle each Sunday for the 4 Sundays before Christmas to mark a time of hope and preparation for the arrival of Christ in the world. The 4 candles are said to represent hope, peace, joy, and love.
And tonight is the 8th and final night of Hanukkah. Our Jewish friends will light all 8 candles tonight. Hanukkah celebrates the miracle of oil lasting 8 days in a lamp and the triumph of light over darkness. As Reverend Martha lights our menorah, I invite you to join with me in the prayer that will be sung tonight. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu echad lekneh shel Hanukkah.
Today's worship will feature a play called The Solstice Badger. This is a story that comes from a children's book by Robin McFadden. It was adapted into a pageant by me and by Rose Gologly. The props that you'll see in a moment were painted by Rose Gologly. There are so many ways, both religious and secular, to celebrate the light returning. Maybe one of the traditions represented on this altar on this day belongs also to you. Maybe you are looking for new ways to invent tradition and ritual that works for you this time of year. Our church is a place where you can bring and be your whole and complete self, no matter who that self is. So we invite you into this celebration of light, together with this story about friendship, loneliness, community, balance, and why the light waxes and wanes. We will open our worship together by singing a carol. We invite you to rise in body or rise in spirit, whatever is most comfortable for you today, to join in singing the Gloucestershire Wassail, which is on an insert in your order of service. Back in the very beginning, when the world was young, it was always summer. The sun walked hurriedly across the sky with great joy each day. But there came a time when his head grew heavy, his light was weaker, and all the first creatures wondered and worried. One evening, as he was descending beneath the earth and the moon was rising, she called to him across the great gulfs of the sky.
"My brother, you seem sad. What is wrong?"
The sun replied,
"Oh, sister, I am so lonely. Down on everything on earth, down to the little field mouse has a companion. Even you have the stars, but I am alone."
The moon felt felt for her dear friend, and she wanted to help. She said,
"Oh, I see. I will spread the word, dear brother, and we will find you a friend."
The moon whispered to the sea each night, and the sea listened. On this night, she told the sea what the sun had said, and the sea told the fishes, and the fishes told the birds, "The sun is lonely." Soon all the creatures of the air had heard the news, and they gathered to discuss the matter. The first crow decided to take the lead, saying,
"What could be simpler? I myself will fly to the sun and keep him company."
So it was that, in the morning, as the sun began his journey, newly batteried and fresh, he saw a tiny white speck flying up toward him. It grew bigger as it approached, and the sun thought joyfully, "Someone is coming to see me." It took Crow a long time to reach him, because he was just as strong as he was stubborn, and finally alighted breathless on the sun's strong arm. Crow, gasping for air, said to the sun,
"I'm here to accompany you, my lord."
The crow bowed respectfully as he spoke, but the sun was dismayed, for he saw that his feathers were blackening as he watched. The sun replied,
"I thank you for your courage and compassion, little grandmother, but I fear that if you stay with me, you will soon burn up altogether. Please go back home."
Crow, with his last white feathers frizzling away, was hurting too much to speak, so he flew back away home. The next day, the hummingbird declared that she would try, saying,
"Things that move quickly don't burn, and the sun must have a companion."
So she shot up into the sky like a comet, up and up, but it was so much farther than she thought it was, and she wasn't quite halfway there when her breast was crimson with effort, and she fell, exhausted, back down to the earth. After her, the eagle made an attempt, and the osprey and the albatross, and even the plump little sparrow. All the birds tried flying to the sun and failed. The sun grew more and more dismal. Far down, underneath the surface of the earth, there is a river which flows from east to west, carrying anyone bold enough to lie in its swift current. It runs from horizon to horizon, and both the sun and the moon rest in its waters when they aren't in the sky. Near this east-flowing river, through a cave and to the left, lived the first badger. Her tunnels went everywhere, and she loved the bright jewels she found in the darkness. She ate well on root vegetables, mushrooms, and subterranean berries. Her home was a giant geode whose walls glittered and sparkled. In her solitude, she was content. One night, she heard someone crying, and she quickly followed the sound down one of the tunnels to the banks of the east-flowing river. There she found the sun, who had climbed out of the water for a while so he could weep where no one would see him. The badger approached the sun and asked gently,
"What is wrong?"
The sun, startled, jumped to his feet and said,
"A new creature. I have never seen anything like you before, but you should run away before I burn you."
The sun sobbed, convinced he wouldn't be able to be near this new friend. But the badger shook her head, and she said,
"I have collected gems in the white, hot center of the world. You will not burn me. Come to my home and have tea."
And smiling through his tears, the sun did. The sun and badger spoke a great many things to each other, as kindred spirits are wont to do. At long last, the sun took his leave, for it was nearly time for the morning. That day he rose so clear and bright, all things living on earth knew that he must have found a friend, and they were so happy for him. When night came, he went straight to Badger's house, where his own light was refracted and beautified by the crystal walls. They continued their talk and their stories. Badger loved to hear all about the doings of those beings she called the surface peoples, whom she had never seen before. So the sun obligingly told her all about the turtle and the otter, the horse and the tree, the vine and the bird, so vividly that Badger could close her eyes and see them. The sun was so engrossed in storytelling, Badger had to remind him when it was far past time to leave. The next night, he came again, and this time it was Badger's turn to tell stories. She told of the heartbeat of the mother that you can only hear with your bones, and of the fire spirits that dance in the flowing, molten places. She told of her adventures among mountains' roots, in underground geysers, and down echoing, pitch-black natural stone walls. She told of the shallow tunnels from which you could listen to the surface, though not see it. And they both forgot the time, and the sun left even later than before. This went on for 6 full moons. The sun would rise a little later every day and walk a little more quickly across the sky. He was so preoccupied thinking about all of the interesting things his friend had told him, laughing over a joke they had shared, that he didn't notice the world was changing. The leaves were falling, the winds were bitter cold, and the very first snow began to fall. The trees took it patiently, because trees always do, but all of the other creatures were miserable.
This is the time in our service where we invite forward an offering to help support the good work of the church and our partners in the wider world. This month, all month, we'll be sharing our offerings with Caritas Cubana, as part of our Legacy of Slavery project. This is a wonderful organization in Cuba that serves some of the most vulnerable populations there, the elderly, the children, the sick, people living with HIV/AIDS. So we are deeply grateful for all you're about to give.
There came a day when the sun fairly sprinted through the sky, for he remembered a story he hadn't told Badger yet, and he couldn't wait to tell it. But when he reached the geode house, his friend was standing in the door, looking sad. Badger said to the sun,
"Come with me."
Badger then walked away. The sun hesitated before running to catch up. After all, in all this time, He had never gone into the dark places far from the river. Badger led him through many twisting, branching tunnels until he was quite lost. Badger then whispered to the sun,
"Now, my friend, listen."
The sun realized they were in a shallow tunnel. He listened, and he heard the sigh of the wind through the creaking branches. He heard the sounds of shivering and sneezing winds, but no bird song, no scampering of feet. Badger turned to her friend and said gently,
"You have spent too much time with me. The world misses you."
The sun was filled with remorse over his thoughtlessness. He would have rushed to the sky and stayed there for weeks. But again, his prudent friend stopped him. Badger said,
"Hasty repairs make weak burrows. We must act wisely now. So we must consult the wisest of all things. You know the world, and I do not. Who should we ask for guidance?"
The sun pondered deeply for a moment, his brow furrowed, and then he said,
The trees are the oldest things on earth, and pine is the eldest of the trees. I think she will know what I must do, but she may be angry with me.
Badger nodded in understanding, and then said kindly,
"I will go to her, and I will take gifts to soothe her anger."
Together they returned to Badger's home, where they filled up a chest with all the most glorious gems that she had collected, and enough food for a mighty, mighty feast. Badger said to her friend,
"Wait here for me."
Then, for the very first time, torch in paw and with her chest, she tunneled to the surface. Pine stood in a glade in the forest. She was blanketed with snow, but her dignity and foliage were unchanged by the changing weather. Her spreading boughs sheltered a great many of the first creatures. She had hatched from her cone long before the first sunrise, and had seen all things born of nothing, so she was not easily surprised. Thus, it was that when Badger scrambled to the surface before her, she greeted her kindly. Pine spoke in a deep, rich voice which made the ground quiver, saying to Badger,
"Hello, small friend who befriended the sun. Welcome."
Badger bowed low her head and said,
"My friend wishes to undo the harm he unwittingly caused. If he went back to his old ways, would the world be healed?"
Pine pondered this question for a moment. Then she replied,
If he brought the worm back tomorrow, the world would be drowned in snow melt, and all would be chaos.
There was a short silence while the wind howled. Eventually, Badger spoke again.
"Wise one, I have brought gifts to you." Will you accept them with our apologies and tell me what advice to give my only friend?
Her treasure box revealed food beyond count and jewels without a price. Pine looked at them thoughtfully before responding,
A generous gift, and one I have no use for. Give them to the creatures who have suffered more than I. As for the solution, it is simple. The sun must regain his old habits as gradually as he lost them. All good things in this world happen slowly. Seeds and eggs and seasons alike.
Badger took in her response and again bowed deeply in thanks. As she was turning to leave, Pine spoke to her again.
You will miss him.
Pine's voice, deep as a drum beat, forestalled any lie. Badger nodded and tears filled her eyes. Pine continued,
You need not.
The voice of the pine became so resonant it seemed to come from everywhere all at once.
My roots are on the Great Mother, on her pulse, and she speaks now through me. When 7 cycles of the moon have passed, the days will be as long as ever. But then your visits together may grow again. After 13 moons, the pattern will begin anew. For the sun must have a companion, and the badger must be rewarded for his selflessness. And the mother has decided to welcome the dark times and call them winter.
Good morning. I'm Jean Mooney. I'm a member of the caring team here at First Church, and we help folks during challenging times. And if you want to know more about the work we do, please ask me. So this is a time in our service that we share candles of concern, personal concern, sorrow, and joy. And I wanted to say in the words on Friday that Martha Courant said, life can certainly be unpredictable, messy, and joyful. So these candles can all express those things. And it's really a wonderful time that we can do this. So I ask that when you come forward that you speak right into the mic and share your name and be briefish so that we can all share this time. Or tender to share.
And I'll invite you all into a deepening breath. Allow all that's been shared to settle into your mind and heart. And we'll hold quiet together for a few moments. Precious and powerful source of all life and all love, we give thanks for this powerful embrace holding us here, for this community of support, for this contagious hope. And here we pray. We pray for all of those who are in the hardest way this morning, for those who are afraid, for those who feel close to the edge. We pray that this powerful love travel to them in this moment, that they may feel even a glimmer and know there is a way forward and a way through. In the hardest times we face, in our own lives, the lives of this nation, in the lives of this human family, may we know always that this love is there, that this community is there, that it may be our strength, our guide, this day and always. Amen.
After Pine spoke the message from the Great Mother, with her decision to call the dark times in and name them winter, all things alive held their breath for a moment of awe, and then Badger joyfully cried, saying,
"So may it be, and on this longest night of every year, I promise to come to the surface and give gifts to all the small beasts, gifts of thanks and blessing and love, and a token of the sun's return. Here, take it, call them."
Pine bent forward and grasped a new light emerging. When she straightened up, she held that light up in the topmost of her twigs. And far and near, the creatures of the forest saw it flickering in the dark, and they began to draw closer. As they arrived one by one, they saw that the pine had been busy. The badger brought some of those jewels and distributed them amongst the little creatures. She took the jewels she had left and placed them in the boughs of the pine. Those small jewels shimmered and sent rainbows dancing over the glade. On the ground in front of the pine, she spread a banquet with enough food for everyone to eat and more. Badger watched the glorious feast begin, and well satisfied, she tunneled back home as fast as she could to tell the sun the good news. The next morning began just a little bit earlier than before. As it was then, so it is today. When the world was young, so it is now. The seasons turn on the linchpin of a friendship. And every day the sun watches the world and everything in it, collecting stories to tell his friend the badger. Their visits grow longer every night for half of the year. And at the darkest times, we still honor the wisdom of the old pine by hanging jewels and lights in her branches. And on the longest night of the year, the badger comes to the surface of the earth, giving gifts to all the small creatures who bear patiently the cold and the darkness, knowing that the winter will forevermore be joyful as long as the Solstice Badger keeps her promise, and she always will. We invite you to rise as is most comfortable for you this morning to join in singing our closing hymn, number 235 in your gray hymnal, Deck the Halls.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we're together again.